Hello, North Carolina Realtors. President Lee Brown here. And because I'm in my realtor car office, y'all all know how that is. You can't see my piles beside me in the passenger seat, but you have piles too. And also because it's raining, so I'm not willing to sacrifice my hair yet. I just thought I'd video y'all from here and bring you an update on what the actions were that were taken last week at the Realtors legislative meetings in DC. Now, you should know you have a whole bunch of North Carolina Realtors that serve as directors on the national level. They're all super smart and engaged and delighted to answer questions for you. And frankly, I'm super proud to be a part of our contingent. Here's the actions that you're going to be hearing about. You may have already heard about, but I want to make sure that our members are fully engaged and know all the skinny. The first one and the biggest chatter in the hallways was the dues increase. We have not had a dues increase on the national level in several years. And the board of directors voted to go from $150 to $156. That's a $6 increase. You're going to see that on your next dues renewal. Now you're wondering where'd that come from? Well, the suggestion came from Budget and Finance Committee. It went through the Executive Committee and came to the board. Lots and lots of discussion on what the numbers should be. And there was also a recognition of the fact that our numbers are higher than anybody budgeted because everybody wants to be a realtor because we're awesome. And because we have additional revenue from all those members, there was a decision to use some of the reserves instead of doing a higher increase. Again, any questions you have, see me or any of your directors, and we'll be glad to answer those questions for you. The second thing that you'll be hearing about, and I'm so excited because our hashtag this year has been We Open Doors, and we talk about how we want to open doors for everyone. That means fair housing education is going to be a really critical part of our professionalism going forward. And every time we take more classes, as you know, there's always a gem you can take back to your business and your community. So what was decided is that there will be a 2-hour fair housing requirement every 3 years. Now, you already have your code of ethics cycle every 3 years, and that's 2.5 hours of ethics training. So it's going to be a total of 4.5 hours every 3 years. The fair housing requirement starts in 2025. And if you're wondering why it's not starting right now, it's because to make our local associations not pull every last hair out over administrative burdens, we're going to let it line up with the next Code of Ethics cycle, which starts in 2025. Now, if you are a fair housing proponent, and I know you are if you're following my videos, you can go ahead and take some of this education now at fairhaven.realtor, where the class will actually become more robust to satisfy the 2-hour requirement when it becomes Fairhaven 2.0. But in the meantime, go ahead and knock it out and drop a comment right here if you have completed that, because it's a fantastic class and makes a really good sales meeting. You could also take the bias override class, and there's just tons of options out there. And if you're an educator watching this, there's a list of requirements for the new fair housing class. So I can provide that at any time. So you can be building up great classes that we can provide right here in North Carolina. So that's a huge improvement. And frankly, it's a great way for us to show the public that as realtors, we honestly do want to sell a house to everybody as long as they have the financial capability to make it happen. Another thing you would see coming forward from the board of directors, and I'm super excited about this too, we saw a new policy proposal come forward. Now, if you are a political nerd, you may already know that all of our policy doesn't just come top down from staff. It bubbles up from you, the members at the grassroots level. And 2 of our realtor committees brought forth policy proposals so that after the board approved these, the staff can take it and run with it with our legislative and our regulatory officials. The one that I am most excited about now, one of them is a little bit more specific to Cumberland, Onslow, Wayne County, and that is the push for better gap financing options on VA assumables. Some of y'all are thinking, yeah, if you're in the military market, you know what I'm talking about. So we are delighted to see that go forward. The other one, though, is something that applies to most of us. So listen up, friends, and you should know that if you have a relationship in DC, this is a good thing to bend the ear on, because this will be great for our markets and help bring some inventory up. The realtors as an organization, so all 1.5 million of us with our strength across party lines and across county lines and state lines, said we would like to see a deduction or a reduction in the capital gains rate for investors who sell a 1 to 4 unit property to an owner occupant. Now, there will be lots of rules, of course, going along with this, but if you have an investor who owns a duplex that they're kind of tired of, the proposal would be, hey, reduce their cap gains if they sell it to an owner occupant to encourage more properties to come back into the owner occupant market. So I want you to understand that, because it's not a policy yet. It's not in place. Don't ask me for time frames or any of that. But what we did was, as realtors, come up with a brilliant creative solution that we are deciding to put our weight behind and carry it forward. So if you ever wondered what we actually do with RPAC, it's that kind of wonky policy work that can have an immediate impact on our neighborhoods if we could just get it through in DC. So that's what we're working on. Now, there were several other actions that happened at the board, but those are the top ones. As always, if you have questions, I'll say it again, reach out to me or any of your leaders on the board, your leaders in your local boards. All of us want to make sure that every member has as much education as possible, because y'all, if consumers know that we're doing this kind of work, they will be more proud than ever to hire a realtor when it comes time to conduct their real estate business. I appreciate you listening to this long video, and I appreciate what you're doing to serve the citizens of North Carolina through real estate. And until then, enjoy your presidential pep talk.